This is the first part in a two-part video I'm making covering my independent learning experience doing computer science. The first part's going to detail my first semester of design, iteration, and programming for my app, and the second semester is going to show the finalization of that and hopefully the end prototype that I will result with. So for my project, I decided to focus on driving. And while I initially wanted to look into self-driving technologies and augmenting driver responsibilities, I realized that a lot of those applications already exist, and they're very complex and time and resource intensive. Being someone who's made several iOS apps before, I know that iPhones have a lot of sensors in them. So I wondered what sensors I could use, what sensor data I could use to increase the safety while driving a car. So a few of the things I've decided to focus on are driver awareness. This includes such things as how much distraction is going on in the car. This also includes how aware is the driver of the road, or how can we predict whether the driver is focusing on the road. Another element I've decided to take into account is performance of the car in terms of are they driving the speed limit? So that's grabbing localized speed limit data for specific roads. That also means detecting the car's velocity, acceleration, as well as detecting when they're making turns. A few problems I'm addressing are driver distraction by texting or falling asleep at the wheel. Also, going one location when you should be at another location. My app can be installed on a phone and placed at a center console to implement technologies such as driver alertness with face detection, monitoring the speed of the vehicle, and GPS location. While similar features like the ones I'm adding are in some nicer cars, and they're only in a few models, and any car that isn't as nice or as updated doesn't have the opportunity to have these same safety features when similar sensors are all inside of our phones currently. The way I've designed the app is so that you can place it up on a windshield or in a vent, perhaps. And one of the benefits of keeping the driver app open is that you're not going to be as tempted to check other apps because this app's open in the middle of tracking your drive. So as an example, I've decided to place my phone here, and while I'm not driving for this exact example, you can see clearly. While I'm not driving for this exact example, you can see how the app would work somewhat. So this is partial functionality of what the final app is going to look like in terms of what the driver is going to see while they're driving. So I'll try it out for you right now. We can go ahead and open up the app. It's going to sign us in with Google automatically, and then I'm going to assume a driver position like this. So if I'm driving, at this point I would now hit the Start Drive button, which would begin the drive and start tracking me. So what I'm going to do is hit Start Drive, and you're going to notice immediately we can see a timer up in the corner that's going to include an image of my face. It's also going to include a timer, and it's going to include the speed limit and the current velocity we're going at, as well as the GPS map of where we are. So you'll notice a few beeps already went off, and those occurred when the app detected that I was not paying attention as much as I should be. So I'm still working on getting out the kinks, but you'll notice if I close my eyes, for example, like this, the app's going to continually go off. If I open my eyes up, the app goes off and I can resume driving. So it's detecting whether my eyes are open and closed, and it's monitoring my driving as well as my velocity, my location, and the current speed limit I'm on. You can see that as I drive, a blue trail is drawn on the path I've driven on, as well as my current speed limit shown on the speedometer below and the current speed limit of the road I'm going on. If I were to speed past the speed limit, I would get an alert and the sound would play. The code I've written is built with Flutter, and you can see I import all my modules here. This is where I write the actual code for the specific drive, as you can see up here. In the future for the code, I hope to implement more features to the app, such as a home screen where you can view statistics about your previous drives, as well as a special page for a parent or a supervisor to track and monitor the location and drives of Additionally, I would like to work on computing a final score and a way to see this driving data all summarized at the end of a drive. I have already started some of this stuff, and I'm going to continue to further look into taking measurements of the sound levels in the car. Is the music too loud they're listening to? Is it playing at a dangerous level? Are they detecting whether they're talking on the phone or even having a conversation with someone?